Good morning. Good morning. Today is November the 12th, 2025, and 9:16 in which I am recording this. There was a dream last night. Unfortunately, I can only remember bits and pieces. Um, as you know, it's been a while since I've posted, which means it's been a while since I've received anything. Um, and this dream pretty much was, I guess, I don't know if I was in like a school sort of setting. Um, and I don't know if I was like in a classroom. I don't know if I was a teacher or was being taught. Um, I don't remember most of it, but I do remember that there was a bear that somehow made its way into the facility, and it began attacking those within the building. And I do believe there was a smaller cub bear as well, that was obviously not as powerful. Still scary, but not as strong as the big bear that came through, and people were just like running everywhere trying to escape, get out of the building. I think I should have recorded it once I first woke up, but I will state that the first thing I thought about when I did wake was, wow, that was Russia. That was Russia that began to attack the place where I was, that was known to me, that was comfortable for me. Obviously, others dwelt in their day-to-day lives, and somehow it made its way through, I believe, one of the doors, front door, side door, made its way in. So if I think of anything else, I'll come back and try to recreate and or just upload that portion as well. I'm going to pray and just see if the Lord is able to, allow me to continue the dream, which rarely happens. It has before, but rarely, or if he can just bring some things back to my remembrance, as a, more detail, but I just had to just record that portion, so I'll have it for record. All right, guys, until next time. Bye. All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the interpretation segment of the video. I wanted to briefly go over the natural, psychological, symbolic, and prophetic perspectives or lens, if you will, when filtering through this video. Alrighty, so we're going to start with number one, which this was gathered from ChatGPT to kind of just get a better lens or perspective on, the breakdown of the dream. Number one, the setting, school, classroom. A school setting often symbolizes learning, testing, preparation, and growth. To be taught or teaching, okay? It stated that it could symbolize a season where I was both learning and responsible, a place of preparation, a place that feels structured and somewhat safe. This was a familiar, functioning environment, normal day-to-day life. And then disruption enters, which leads us to number two, the bear symbol. All right, so in the immediate interpretation, my thought was that was Russia. So now, biblically speaking, in Daniel 7:5, a bear represents a powerful kingdom, historically interpreted as Medo, Persia. I probably butchered that. In modern prophetic circles, many associate a bear with Russia, mostly because Russia is often symbolized as a bear politically. All right, so it said that the mindset was already in that symbolic framework. And it stated that the bear could represent aggression, sudden invasion, overpowering force, something that enters your life uninvited, fear of loss of safety. All right, so number 3 is the cub, which was interesting. So I stated that there was a large bear, there was also a smaller cub. So the cub was still scary, but not as powerful. Symbolically, a cub could represent an ally, a secondary power, a developing threat, or something connected to the larger force. So if someone were interpreting geopolitically, they might say that Russia equals bear and a close ally equals cub. Alrighty, so we're going to go down to point number 4, which is the entry point. So I mentioned it made its way through a door, front and or side. The door represents and or symbolizes access, entry points, permission, sometimes, and vulnerabilities. All right. It could also represent boundaries being crossed, protection breached, something external entering your internal life. Point number 5, the reaction of chaos and running. People were in the dream running, they were escaping, they were scattered. This symbolizes sudden crisis, panic, loss of order, overwhelm. It disrupted structure. Number 6, my immediate thought again that it was Russia, which is very important. It states, and it kind of goes down a list of why I thought about these things, with just biblical prophecy, nations rising, everything about Israel, the whole 9 yards. Okay, let's go down. All right, so what do we have so far from a prophetic lens? So we have the school equals America or Western society, a place of learning. The bear equals Russia. The cub equals allied nations. Entry through the door, strategic breach, chaos equals coming disruption. So it did say that there is no biblical passage that says that a bear enters a school, of course. So this is all symbolic interpretation and not scriptural confirmation. Number 8, the deeper question. So before concluding is geopolitical ask, where they ask questions like, where in my life does something feel like it is entered, like personal questions, like is this really more so ChatGPT wants to know if it's more internal, where the dream is more about me and where I'm at, what season I'm in, because it states like dreams could often have a personal touch as far as any personal fears or cultural tensions, spiritual curiosity, that sort of thing. But from what I know, to believe all of my dreams, 9 times out of 10 are always spiritual. Okay. So let's see here. So the dream could symbolize, as number 9, the most grounded take, a disruption of perceived safety, fear of external forces affecting daily life, a season where we could feel something larger that is pressing in, which doesn't automatically, it states, means that war is imminent. A prophetic event is triggered and a specific nation will invade. But we know that not to be true. All right, so let's see here. Observation. All right, so the final balanced view, according to this ChatGPT, states that the dream carries strong symbolic weight. It again could represent global instability, anxieties, spiritual you know, like endurance, personal boundary breach. Um, and let's see. I think they're going to break it down biblically. Let's see, Daniel, Revelation style. But I think we're going to stop there. So that was an overview of how the dream was viewed from the lens of ChatGPT, and what that looked like, in a natural sense, a psychological sense, symbolic sense. And it also provided the prophetic perspective. So yep, guys, that was this dream, and I do hope that that gave a little bit more clarity. I think I do enjoy just the interpretation via that way, because some dreams, of course, I'm not really sure what they mean, and so to get more clarity, I think could definitely help all of us in that regard. Not to take it, of course, to take it with a grain of salt, but always to go back in prayer and allow the Lord to continue to shine some light on it for all of us, actually, because I don't always know. Everything kind of comes in bits and pieces. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for sticking around. Definitely appreciate it. And I will be dropping quite a bit here over the next several days. So stick around, share, like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. God bless.